We're in Paraguay now, and some things are going to change around here. So a few years ago, I recorded the first video on this channel. I don't think it's the first that's posted, but the first that was recorded. The video where I go over the depression criteria with you. And at the time, I was going through residency, the time that it was recorded. Not the time that it was posted. It was recorded 2 years, actually, almost, before it was posted. It was recorded shortly after I was hospitalized in 2018 for major depressive disorder with SI, the desire to unalive oneself. And at the time during my hospitalization, I had been exposed as a physician to more traumatic deaths than most people my age and my specialty, both in medical school and then also in residency. Just by chance was around people with certain situations and conditions that were pretty horrible and sad, a lot of really sad stories. So during my hospitalization, my roommate talked to me about ASMR. And she did ASMR on the bedside table and told a story about a cabin. She was mimicking, or at least the style, of gentle whispering. So I came home and I recorded that video about major depressive disorder. The pain from my voice in that video is very real. And I think maybe that's what resonated with a lot of people very much. I left residencies because of my health as it was going downhill. But my physical health, the fibromyalgia, was getting so severe that I was worried I was not going to be able to deploy. And for someone who's in the military, I feel like you can't be in the military and not deploy. And that's no insult to those of you who that might have been the case. But for me, it was like, I'm still able-bodied. There's need, I have to deploy. That was just for me personally. With that, there was definitely some wisdom in that decision, because there were definitely some things that I still disagree with. The American Academy of Family Practice runs things, and the ACGME runs things. Now after 5 to 6 years of practice, there's also ways in which I recognize some of my own immaturity. So I left. I went to Korea for my deployment. I became a sexual assault medical forensic examiner. And at the time, I didn't realize how little by little I started to carry around those past deaths into what I was doing. And it affected some of my work. Not my work with my patients. I had the best patient scores in my battalion, just like not in my battalion, in my brigade, just like I'd had in my residency. And it was more in my interpersonal relationships with other physicians. I didn't trust other physicians or other medical providers, and that was also partly because of some almost malpractice that occurred in my own family that really hurt some of my family, which had happened even before I decided to go into medicine. All of that was a factor because I was starting to deal with sexual assault patients when there's a real issue of trust there, where the people who were hurting my soldiers would be our own soldiers. And that was becoming incredibly scary, that you can't trust other doctors, you can't trust people on your own team, and that people do horrible, horrible things to each other. And so all that started getting wrapped up in my mind with these deaths. And all of it started to kind of snowball. And so I started to have these like hell nights where the entire night I'd be in severe, severe pain. And then on top of being in severe pain, I would have like a presence was standing to my right side, watching me, and I would have dreams, and it was like a scary presence, not something good. And I would have dreams about my patients, and started to have some death dreams, and then things just eyes, and it became more and more horrible. I'd wake up sometimes in the morning and just lie down on the ground, like I'd fall asleep maybe at 1. Having to get up for formation at 4:30 in the morning, maybe make up at 2 or 3 again, and like curl up on the floor in the fetal position, just in so much pain. And then I'd come back from formation in the fetal position in so much pain, just feeling. And then I would have these moments of trying to fall asleep but jolt awake because something was waiting for me there in the sleep, and I didn't want to sleep, but I needed to sleep because I was so tired. And so it'd be this physical, painful falling and waking and falling and waking. And then, of course, there was the other factors of, there was definitely some health discrimination in the area where I was, and there was certainly some sexism. So there were things that made it difficult to communicate sometimes with other folks, because I look young because of my mixed race, it was harder for people to listen to me, even if I had the medical expertise in something. So that was the time and when everything kind of crashed, and I ended up getting sent home from my deployment about a month early. I almost finished the deployment, almost, which was incredible considering how difficult it was for me. I basically wasn't sleeping this deployment and making important medical decisions. I mean, the tragedy as I was leaving was, as soon as they fixed my medications and put me on a nightmare medication instead of the stupid experimental stuff this psychiatrist had been trying. And the tragedy was, if I had been my own patient, I would have put myself on the nightmare medication. Because that was my protocol. If the patient came to me with these problems, I treated them this way. But I wanted to trust that somebody else knew better, and so I went to an expert who theoretically would know better, and messed me up. Actually, I had much worse SI, and I had access to firearms at that time. And that's when I had my setting aside, I practiced my attempt actually that time. So, you know, and it's sad because then later I got home and got on a very basic protocol of like nightmare medication and moved my stuff to the night so I could sleep, and my life changed dramatically. And so it's about that time. You see the first 2 videos on my channel that are all grainy and bad. They're filmed in Korea, right at that time when I have the really colorful makeup on that really shows my schizotypal personality disorder. And that definitely affected things too, by the way. So those are filmed in Korea right before I'm being sent home. So then the next 2 years was this journey between the fallout of trying to still stand up for one of my patients who had been screwed over from this really, really nasty medic who, when she refused to provide care to one of my patients, and I scolded her because how dare you not provide care to one of my patients, she accused me of laying hands on her. And so then there was a whole mess, right? Just very dirty. It's just so dirty. You know that rather than do the right thing, you just... So there was a whole... That was the next 2 years. I got evicted. People in my family got bad diseases. It was difficult. You know, just 5 years before, my little brother had died, so there's still that, right? All, you know, different stuff kept happening in the next 2 years. I developed a stalker during the course of YouTube. And this is all on top of the normal problems in life. You know, difficulties that come with being a believer in the faith that I am, but at the same time having the sexuality history and gender dysphoria and things that I have, but me choosing to live my life according to my faith, which is something that people hate about me a lot. So all of these things and feeling just hated and alone and attacked by the world, through all of this has been the growth of this channel over the last 2 years. The PTSD started to worsen, the MDD started to improve, and you can kind of see that in the videos. You can see the moments where I'm struggling with the radical acceptance. All the videos on radical acceptance, you can see chronologically where I'm trying to share it with you because it's evidence-based, but I am struggling with it myself. And you see that with the CBT videos too, where I'm anxious and freaking out about a tiny piece of paperwork and trying to rationalize why and trying to work it out with you. So if you haven't seen the depression series, that's in some ways the depression series is a journey through my depression with you, right? Which is significantly changed. Right? SI is still a factor in my life, but not like that. It's not, you know, I'm not in danger anymore. And the biggest problem that's left is really these PTSD memories and things. I'm on a plane in Paraguay, which, well, I'm obviously not on a plane, but I made it to Paraguay, which has been my dream for the last 10, 15 years, and which 2 years ago seemed impossible because I thought I was going to die between 2020 and 2021. I did not plan to live out the year. And because I didn't think then with the PTSD like how I was going to be able to get on a plane. And I'm here, and it's tough, but things are so different. And the journey with this channel has been crazy. Some of you all maybe should be punched a little bit. And some of you are the sweetest, most wonderful people in the world and just don't realize it about yourselves. Sharing this journey with you has been not always very rewarding, but very personally rewarding, right? It's been joyful and wonderful to do this with you together. And I can't believe that I'm here now. I can't believe it. So you guys have sometimes attacked and sometimes bothered me and sometimes helped me in the best ways on the worst days. And it's been such a joy to get to know you guys. So there's been a little bit of mission creep over time. The numbers, the embarrassment about the numbers, some of the hurt when people doubt who I am. About last year, started to realize I don't really meet, like, people literally, Dr. Adam ASMR can post anything he wants and people will believe that he's a physician because of the face. And even though he actually, as he started posting, was just a ER intern, he's also a physician, but a brand new physician. Whereas I get multiple people, I even put my license number in my description, which other people don't do. And people still doubt me and don't believe that I am who I am. There was an entire group of like alt-writers trying to dox me and find out who I am. Me having the young Asian affected face and other things like that makes it difficult to get things through thumbnails, especially as I've gained weight. Not complaining like I have the face I have. There's sometimes some embarrassment that like I have all this information and expertise, but I'm an odd duck. I'm a weird person and I don't necessarily fit into what people's standards are. And so I originally had envisioned this channel based on this misconception that I could draw in sad or stressed people in the ASMR community who had depression using certain keywords and being a real doctor. But the reality is, whether through failure to provide consistent quality, whether through some genetic disadvantages that, that aren't disadvantages and shouldn't be disadvantages, but happen to be disadvantages through YouTube. The YouTube algorithm is affected significantly by societal biases. That's just a fact. So whether through those things or my own, lack of, it's taken me a really long time to develop good quality, much longer than some of my peers, because I have not been able to really draw in people, partly also because of consistent messaging. I don't have the same thing over and over and over again in ASMR videos. I make them, actually I start branching out topics because I started making what I loved and thought was beautiful, which doesn't always pay off in either lives or in dollars, which I can use then to save other lives. So, and from the beginning, it wasn't the ASMR that actually drew in or helped sad or stressed people in the community. That first video, which had the most encounters where I was able to actually talk to and help a suicidal person, was not good ASMR. It's just very raw and very real. And the people who have been most involved and who have experienced the best benefit from me have been people where it's been about me being raw and real and not about ASMR quality. So on the one hand, I want the freedom to make beautiful ASMR that I think is beautiful, sci-fi, travel, and history adventures in particular, but I don't want to feel guilty for sacrificing realistic health or depression conversations to the time limit. And I get so frustrated making these stupid realistic medical exams that don't actually help anyone. I feel like I'm miming. And there was a time where that was really good, because there was a time when I was not seeing a lot, if any, patients because I couldn't leave the house because I was very, very ill. But it is so frustrating when you're like miming this thing and it's like, this isn't going to help someone. What's going to help someone is if we have a real conversation about what the problems are, right? About what you actually need for your diabetes. And more than that, what's actually going to help somebody is you understanding a different mindset and getting a mindset change, so that you can make your diet changes that you already know you should, but you can't really convince yourself why. And that has to do with self-worth. And self-worth doesn't come from happy little tingle sounds. It just doesn't. That's a temporary fix, and it's a helpful temporary thing to help survive. It's helped me a lot on many bad nights. But it's not the work that goes in and actually fixes your brain. And the videos where I am being informative and I am doing the work to go in and fix your brain, people can't fall asleep to. People have said on multiple occasions I talk too hard and too fast, and the information is too much, and so their brain cannot relax. And that's that's real. That's true. Is you guys vote with your feet, with your views, the view count issue. Most of my subscribers haven't seen most of my videos. So clearly what I'm doing is not serving you, all of you, various different ways. I'm all over the place, and so it's hard for me, and I don't have a big enough personality to be all over the place, right? Like Jacksepticeye can be all over the place if he wants, but he's Jacksepticeye. I need to have a niche and stick to it. And so I thought my niche was going to be medical adventures, but then there becomes a quality issue. So anyway, there's a lot of stuff that you don't need to know about details and analytics, but the fact is most of you haven't seen most of my videos. My journey has changed so much. My mental health has changed. This chapter is kind of coming to a close. And so some things are going to change, but I'm not abandoning you because I want to help the people that I want to help. And I want to do it more effectively, and I don't think that this is the most effective way to do it. So you may see fewer uploads on this channel coming up. I did a poll to see when you need ASMR more. And in answer to that poll, there's going to be ASMR live streams on Twitch on Sunday evenings weekly. So every week we're going to do some ASMR, we're going to do some superhero stuff and some ASMR. I can do more pure ASMR on Twitch, so if you need me, I'm there. We can talk about your sad moments more intimately and more directly. We can have better and stronger mental health moments. The ASMR, that's gonna be on Twitch Sunday nights. So there's gonna be fun things like Wilderness Medicine Fast Practice Clinic, where we can do, you can actually come in and we can do interactive, like quick, full physical exams that you guys like. We'll play with those. There will be some special ASMR live stream events, like the one that turned into the most recent diet video, which I was super proud of, by the way. Which is another point, that a lot of times the stuff I am the most proud of, sometimes it works and sometimes you guys don't see it at all. But I want to make things of a quality that I can always be proud of, and I can't do that with the current upload schedule. Another day that you guys said you really need help is Monday nights. So I'm going to email you Monday nights, because that's a rough night for a lot of you. I'm going to send you scientific relaxation tidbits, health tips, even things like what kind of herbals or teas or whatevers can help with your relaxation and so forth. So I will email you so that you are not alone. You just have to get up in the description and make sure you're on my Relaxation Club email list. I'm going to, because I'm cutting back YouTube, maybe even stopping, because I'm doing that for this channel anyway. Don't panic, because the three of you who watch this, don't panic. Because I'm doing that, I will be able to email more consistently and provide better information. So I will be doing that. The third thing is, and this is maybe the biggest change, I'm going to start moving the Depression and Medical Real Talk over onto the Superhero channel. So that's where we're going to really sit down and talk about fixing your problems, because I actually want people to get better and actually think about why they're getting better. You're not just getting better for you, you're getting better because you're here to make a difference on this planet, because there's other people who need what you specifically have to provide. And I am really tired of the kind of floaty, woo-woo, not really trying, how do I say this? Just, I get a lot of questions about dumb stuff that have to do with like ASMR minutia that are so pointless. And that's not really what I want to be doing. I want to be solving problems and saving lives. And I want to get together with you guys in a way that actually changes things. Oh, I think this is a Chagas disease bug. Yeah, I think there's a kissing bug there. I don't know, maybe not. No, it's just a wasp. I should leave it alone. I'll leave it alone. Yes, so that's gonna be over on the Superhero channel, and we're gonna be able to have real talk. Those videos, probably because of the sensitivity of the topic, will be less gimmicky and not have these fast cuts. So they'll be kind of this more relaxed style, and because if I'm going to be working my ass off for very little, reward, I want to be doing it for what definitely matters. It's the 80-20 rule. If 20% of your work produces 80% of your profits, and whether that profits are in human lives, helping and making a difference, or like businesses think about money. For me, like, money is dumb. Money exists so that I can help other people, right? Not to be arrogant, but that's what money is for. is for helping people. And St. Paul or Claude Shaul agrees with me that if you have money, it exists so that you can help others. And they can help you. And if we're all thinking about helping each other, then we're, happy. It doesn't mean that your life is less valuable than others. That's not what it is. And that's not self-care. Self-care isn't your life being less valuable than others. If you treat your life as if it is very, very valuable and you spend it on other people because it's valuable, you will treat yourself better. You won't treat yourself like crap. So that's the kind of conversations I want to have over there. And we can get real about depression, but that will free me up so that on this channel, I can make I like the history videos as much as you guys do. It's just that either like the Joan of Arc one really didn't pay off, and those are a lot of work, or if they do pay off, it's so little compared to the amount of effort and time that is put in. It's so much effort, and I really work hard to get realistic data in there. So it becomes really discouraging when I have the real stuff and it gets blown out of the water by something that's not real. And that's okay. That's you guys' choice. And then you have a right to vote that way. I want to be able to make those things, and I feel like I can't. I feel like, I should upload twice a week, so I need easier content. I often post before I'm happy with something because of what I should upload. I want to do more Torah ASMR. I think that that's the most beautiful, actually, ASMR, but more subscribers want other stuff, so I don't even publicize or support the Torah ASMR that I do make. I love the sci-fi ASMR. That's where my heart is. It's what's most natural to me. I can't actually make the beautiful stuff that I want to make because I'm making all this other stuff in between, and so it slows things down. Whereas we could have real conversations over on the Superhero channel, and not be held up by or limited by this ASMR label, because you guys don't fall asleep to them. Those of you who benefit from them, you listen to them and you chill. So, if you really need me, the Wellness Project is really where you should find me. And you can get a link to that and information to that by getting on my email list. And that's where we're really going to be making change and making things different and making things better so that you actually get help. Because I'm really tired of fake change. I'm really tired of, I'm sad, I'm just going to watch an ASMR video, not think about it for a little while, and continue with my life. Rather than, I'm sad, I'm worth figuring out what is wrong with me. I have people that I've told you guys in the community over and over again, you meet certain criteria, you need to go to a therapist. You need to go to a therapist. You meet these criteria and you need to. And it's discouraging when you see people just hurting themselves and hurting themselves and hurting themselves. And I don't mean self-harm, because that's a different thing. That's a very addictive and particular thing. But I mean, we put in these temporary fixes to problems, and I know because I've been there. And my journey is not anyone else's. Everyone's journey is different. But it's hard to do the real work. It's hard to sit down and figure out why is it that I'm suffering. And a lot of therapists aren't very good either. So sometimes you got to fire your therapist. I've had, 13 or something, and I think 2 of them have been really, really good and life-changing. So you have to do the work, but you don't know how to do the work if someone doesn't come alongside and support you. So that's what, the idea with the Wellness Project is at least get you started in thinking about your goals so that you can book that therapist appointment that you need, so that you do start making those changes that you need. And it's okay sometimes to be not okay. And we hide from that too. Sometimes we want to put on an ASMR video instead of letting ourselves be not okay and figuring out, why am I not okay? And what can I do? What's my purpose? What do I need to sit and think about? We're very avoidant, especially Americans. And I want to tackle that. I want to be real in a way that isn't, I'm going to pluck away your, and that's a problem, and that's a big problem with me doing ASMR when it comes to mental health, is I actually get really angry with the idea that, we're going to pluck away your things and now your depression is gone. Or as I mentioned, there was a thumbnail that a health professional put up saying that this video will cure your depression. That made me extremely angry as someone who had suffered for an extremely long time with like debilitating, life-ending depression. That somebody would present something so unscientific and be a medical professional. That made me incredibly angry. And I think I'm naturally at odds with the ASMR community as a result, because I'm really angry when it seems to be preying on you guys. Maybe this content isn't suited for the ASMR community. Maybe what we need to do is just have those real conversations and forget about the cute little whispers. It's because I think what motivates a lot of people in the ASMR community is very self-forgetting or self-aggrandizing. And I'm not saying it about anyone in particular. I'm just saying we can be very selfish. And I want people to actually get better. So I think that instead of just trying to forget about ourselves for a moment, we need to actually figure out, like actually forget about ourselves, like actually go out and help somebody else. Treat our body like the weapon that it is, that needs to be cleaned and protected and tuned up so that we can go out and help other people. And I think that focus changes everything. I think there's some flaws in that focus for sure, but because there's flaws in every human idea. And if this resonates with you at all, if you want support and you want to feel better, and you want to not just feel better, but survive better even when you don't feel better, when there are no magic cures, right? When there isn't someone who's going to magically come along and fix your depression, but instead you have to suffer with it and still live and figure out how to be a productive human being, which is my journey, right? I'm probably never going to stop feeling pain. I have pain right now, actually. Maybe I will. Maybe God will heal me. Maybe a new cure will come out, right? But the likelihood is that I have to live my life with this. And how am I going to live my life? And that I want to go on that journey together with you, for real. And my website for healthcare is healthcare.byjenfinelli.com. If you want to book a coaching call, or if you, for your health, or if you want to do an actual medical visit where I order you drugs. Whatever it is that you need. Come and see me if you need me, and we'll figure out how to take care of you, okay? I hope that this didn't rub people the wrong way. I was really happy thinking about posting this video. The idea of giving myself permission to stop this if I want without abandoning you. And give myself permission to only make the ASMR I want instead of the ASMR I should make. So that maybe it's only going to be once a month, maybe it's going to be once every week, but the ASMR that I post can be ASMR that, and I care about every video I've done, but there are some I definitely care about more than others. And I definitely only want to make the ASMR that I'm like, this is worth making an ASMR video. Otherwise, I want it to be a normal video. I don't want to have to add a, exam to something that doesn't feel like it needs an exam just so that I can get you guys to actually like click on it and learn an interesting thing. Maybe I should just be making the interesting thing, I'm tired of playing the game. I'm tired of this whole like click game and this nonsense. So I want to make stuff that is beautiful when it's time to make it. And the rest of the time, I want to actually help you. So go over to youtube.com/c/becoming a real life superhero. There's going to be changes obviously on that channel too, based on this stuff here. And let's figure out how to actually get better and become the superheroes that we were put on this planet to be. Otherwise, I think most of you should come find me in the Wellness Project, and definitely so that I can send you Monday Night Love on those difficult Monday nights. Please remember, Sunday night is Twitch, Sunday night at 6 p.m. 6 p.m. That sounds very silly. Sunday night and Monday night is email. So if you really need me, you know where to find me. I realized coming back to Paraguay after 6 years, so much had changed, and I had felt like I needed to change Paraguay and save the world, and I had gone to medical school for the purpose of coming here. And during the time that it took me to get to college, get to medical school, finish my military service so that I could come back here to Paraguay, a lot of problems have fixed themselves. And it's kind of like, I feel good knowing that I'm needed, but also that I'm not needed. I had a meeting today with somebody about how we can help some people on the reservation. A lot of the native peoples here have really high rates of sexual abuse and sexual health problems, and that's right up my alley. And I want to, protect and defend and preserve some of their cultural medical remedies, also at my herbal alley. It's kind of like I've been prepared for this, and that wasn't necessarily, I guess, it was always part of the plan, but I had always seen things in a certain way, and coming here and seeing how many things were so much better, and how just my little area I'm gonna be able to plug into, like it's like it was exactly made for me, and all these other areas I don't necessarily have to save the world in. It was really comforting, and it's kind of gave me the same outlook with you guys, that like, you know what, if you don't need me, it's okay, and if you do need me, it's okay, but I'm gonna do the things that are beautiful and take some of the pressure off of myself. So if you need me, you know where to find me. I love you.